They've got this cool retrieval tool on the side if you fall off or if they got to retrieve something out of the water. So the gentleman was telling us, who's giving us the tour, was telling us this building was built. Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually heading out to I've got to buy some parts to service the car. The car's due for a service and we're going to take you to one of the Russian car markets, which is not far from where we live. It's a really interesting place. There's so many things you can actually buy there besides just car parts. They buy and sell cars there, but it's a really interesting spot with lots of things going on. So we thought we'd take you along and you can see exactly what it's like, how to buy and sell cars, how to buy car parts for your cars. Come along and I'll show you how it works here in Russia. So right around the car markets, which you can see down there, it's like a big transport depot where a lot of trucks come and they obviously either drop trailers or pick up cargo. So a lot of trucks, which makes sense why there's a car market here. But there's a few auto stores for repairing your cars. This massive building here, I don't know exactly what that's for. I know at the end down there, there's a big tire store. And this big building in the back, which is only partly constructed, has been partly constructed for as long as I've known it. So maybe they ran out of money. I don't know what to go with that building, but yeah, it was never completed. So just on the other side of this truck parking pad, they've got this old military vehicle, which I haven't seen here before, but it's pretty cool. An amphibious military vehicle. Don't know why it's here or what it's for, but it's pretty cool. They've got this cool retrieval tool on the side if you fall off or if they got to retrieve something out of the water. Well, that was an interesting turn of events. We're just walking through the yards and through the yards and all the security yards. We explained, and they took us in to see the management, and now we're getting a guided tour of the lot. All right, so the gentleman was just explaining to us that basically this car yard works is basically for hire. So you can come and rent a spot, whether you're a smaller car yard or a private individual. You can come and rent and put your car in one of these spots, and right at the front here you hang the your for sale sticker thing as your phone number, and then people can ring you and get all the information, and then you can meet them here and then arrange to sell your car. And it depends how long you're here for, how much it costs to be able to put your car here. But it just makes a very convenient spot for people to come to one spot to look at a lot of different cars rather than going all over the place to look at different cars. You can come to one place and look at many different types of vehicles and lots of the same type in all different sorts of condition and age. So it's quite a convenient, for the buyer, it's a very convenient way to look for cars. So this area over here and the area that's on the other side of the market is a big parking area where trucks or intercity trucks can come in and stop, and they can drop trailers and they can rest here. And so it's a big, like a transit bay or a truck stop as we would call them in Australia. So this area in here is where they sell light vehicles or light trucks. more commercial style vehicles. It's sort of a separate area from where the cars are behind us. But it's a really convenient operation for, you know, where you can come to one spot and look at all sorts of trucks at the same time. A little bit like a car yard, except it's you know, the private individual has the opportunity to be able to you know, sell their trucks here as well, or the cars or whatever you got for sale. So the gentleman showing us around is just telling us, you can see in the background here, that fence, it actually it's a drifting track we on certain Saturdays of the month they come and they have drifting races here. Super interesting. We didn't even know this drift track was here out the back. But yeah, the little racetrack where you come and do your car drifting, and you can see the grandstands where people can watch. On the other side, there's 3 driving schools. So it's just a real little locality for anything to do with cars and vehicles, and even if you need a roller to pack down your roads, they've got you covered. So this blue and white building in front of us is also part of this whole setup here. And it was built originally for a big ironworks plant, so they could do forging and all sorts of huge metalworks. But the people who built it never got it started. They ran out of money, and so these current people, they own it now, and it's used as a big warehouse for storing, or so people can rent it to you know, to store all sorts of business or even personal stuff in there. So it's a massive storage shed. So this is all the big spare parts section. So all the different stores where all small people they rent little stores and they sell all sorts of wares. Everything you need for cars. So we've got suspension, what's down there in there, tools, suspension, filters, parts, anything you can think of. All the different makes, all the different Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Mazda, Honda, Suzuki, Subaru. So inside is all sorts of, obviously with Russian winters you have to have a big inside section. So spark plugs, car mats, all the lubricants, all the oil you need, electronics, muffler, fenders, aftermarket parts for your car. More stores outside. Oh, typical, very familiar to Australian viewers. Nice lifted 80 series. In pretty good nick. A new bumper for your vehicle, they've got you covered. So this new building is actually a new cafe they're building here. It's actually quite a quiet day. Normally there's lots of people here. Tool store. Kangaroo jacks, always handy. High left jacks, I think they're also, some people call them. We call them kangaroo jacks. Because if they kick you, it's like being kicked by a kangaroo. This is the big warehouse. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So this is inside that big warehouse. So there's all different storage units you can rent out to store your equipment in. So it's just like a massive storage area. And you can hire all different rooms individually. So this main section in the middle here, where there's nothing, where it goes all the way up. At the moment they're renting out, I think, a floor and a half for the warehouses. But as they sell more and more floors, they're going to install a big commercial lift system, so you can get things in and out, which is why they've left this area open. So the gentleman was telling us, who's giving us the tour, was telling us this building was built 30 years ago. A big electrical company owned this whole plot, and they built that building 30 years ago, and they just never finished it. They either shut down or closed, but it's sort of like a landmark now, and everybody knows the building, and it's good for these guys because they can just use it as a landmark to tell people where to find them. But they do have, it's all completely structural, so you know, as things develop, if they ever need to, they can fit it out as office buildings as the area develops and grows, and be rented out for office space. So yeah, it's really well built, but just never been used, never completed. They ran out of money. The gentleman was telling us this amphibious military vehicle was parked here in Spring, and there's no military stuff left anymore. There's still the motor's in it, and it still runs, and you can drive it, but it's not equipped for military service anymore. And it's called the RDM in Russian. For the Russian army, they call it an RDM, which would be like RMD. And yeah, it's been here for, I think he said 3 months, 4 months. And he's not sure whether they're trying to sell it or whether they're just using it as a promotional vehicle. So the gentleman was saying that these went into production in the 70s, and they were taken out of production, or they were replaced basically in the 90s with some of their newer vehicles. And then what the army does, the Russian army does, is they strip all the military stuff out of them, and they can be sold to civilians for, you know, whatever use. You're not allowed to drive them on the road, obviously, but you can, you know, use them as a collectible or just for fun. Well guys, that was a really interesting tour. Even for, you know, for us it was more than what we expected. We were just taking you along to show you around, but we got introduced to the management, and they wanted to tell us all about the facility and show us around, so it was super helpful. We're very appreciative. You know, one of the things that, you know, people often think, oh, you know, Russian people aren't very friendly, but what you find is that if you're just polite and you are nice to people, the Russian people are super friendly, super helpful, and really keen just to tell you what's going on and show you what's going on. You just got to be polite and got to be helpful. But we've had a really nice tour and time. Russian homestead girl was a super translator. She helped amazingly. If you enjoyed it, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below if you've got questions about it. And we've had a great time, and we'll see you on the next one.